Welcome into the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am your host, Nic Rohloff, and we have some developing news when it comes to your Miami Heat. According to Shams Charania, NBA Insider, who tweeted this out just a second ago, and I had to hop on and give you guys a quick video. So before we even get into that, that is why you subscribe to the channel. Nearly 1,400 strong, on the road to 2,000. Just want to continue to build this fan base and really create a nice culture for the Miami Heat. So please hit that sub button. We bring you videos on a daily basis. Give news while I'm at home, out of the office. I'll bring you a video anyway, so make sure you do hit that sub button. Now let's get into the Bradley Beal news. This is exactly what Shams tweeted, so hold on and stick with me here. Developing. Washington is in serious talks with two finalists regarding Bradley Beal. Miami Heat and the Phoenix Suns on a trade. Sources tell The Athletic the Suns have emerged as a serious threat for Beal, who holds a no-trade clause. So obviously we knew that the Miami Heat were going to be very interested in the services for Bradley Beal, and Beal would be interested in coming to Miami. When you really think about it, I think relationships are very important inside the NBA, and Beal is close with a couple guys in the NBA. One of them is Jason Tatum, because they both grew up in St. Louis, so they're pretty good friends back there. And the other is Bam Adebayo. And I think that is one thing that is borderline underrated about Bam, is the fact that he is a very personable guy, and a lot of people throughout the league like the way he plays and like his personality. We've seen him and Damian Lillard get along, obviously another trade rumor for the Miami Heat, and then him and Bradley Beal are pretty good friends as well. So that is why there is significant interest, plus obviously the Heat culture and how good they are as a franchise lately. But let's just talk about Bradley Beal for a second here. He is an elite isolation scorer, which we know the Miami Heat need because of how much they struggle to score in the NBA Finals. I've said this on countless videos already, but the Heat failed to reach 100 points in the NBA Finals against the Nuggets 4 out of the 5 games. And I don't think it's any surprise that the one game the Heat did win in the NBA Finals was when they scored 111 points. The other games of 93, 94, 95, and 89 is just not going to cut it in the finals at the highest level in the NBA. So you need to score to win. And it's cool that the Heat are one of the best defensive teams in the NBA at all times, but we need more offensive scoring, and it's a cool story with the undrafted players. Gabe Vincent, Caleb Martin, Max Strus, Duncan Robinson, like the whole 9 yards. But I really think the Heat need that lottery pick talent to help get them over the edge on the scoring wing. And I know Bradley Beal's numbers have been down. He's been injured a couple games or a couple seasons in a row here, only playing 40 and 50 games, but I think what Beal showed you in this past season is, even though his numbers were down, it was the most efficient year he's ever had. Shooting over 50% from the field. His three-point numbers were solid, 36, 37, 38. I can't think of the exact number off my head, but Beal showcased that he can be an efficient player. And I know his scoring was down because he was scoring 30 points a night in back-to-back years 3 and 4 years ago, and he scored 23 in back-to-back years. But I think that showed other people that he is willing to not be the shot chucker. Did it lead to wins for the Washington Wizards? No, but I don't think the talent there was from top to bottom. Now, he was able to share the court with Kyle Kuzma and Kristaps Porzingis, and they were able to score close to 20 points a game as well. And that's what you're going to get from Jimmy and Bam. So I think Bradley Beal showcased the ability not to be the guy with the ball in his hands at all times and just shot chuck. He can play basketball in a scheme that doesn't require him to be full Harden mode, where he has full control of the offense. And I really do think a duo of Bam, Jimmy, and Beal would be something that could get the Heat over the hump, assuming that they have the right role players next to them. And Beal has been solid in the postseason when he's got there. I know he hasn't been back in the playoffs for a while, but Beal would definitely be big for Miami. And just going back to this Shams tweet that they're in final stages, or in, let's just say, advanced discussions ahead of the Thursday NBA draft. And if you watch the video on Beal yesterday or 2 days ago, whenever I dropped it, you would know that I said I expect a Bradley Beal trade to get done before this draft. And I say that because this NBA draft on Thursday is very, very deep. There is a lot of good players in this class, and the Miami Heat holding the 18th pick in this draft class after going to the NBA Finals is very valuable for multiple reasons. One, if the Heat elected to keep that pick, they'd be getting a high highly doubted prospect even at 18. And then obviously it has a lot of trade value for the same reasons why I just said it would be good if the Heat kept it. So I think the Heat having that 18th pick is very valuable for them. I don't know if they'll end up trading it. I know a lot of trade discussions and hypothetical trades out there have mentioned that Bradley Beal would come cheap, maybe only 1 first alongside some role players. And I think now I kind of want to talk about what the Heat would be willing to give up for Bradley Beal, and there's a multitude of ways they can go about this. Number one, obviously the guy that is always going to be floated around in trade conversations because he's the Miami Heat's best asset for trade is Tyler Hero, the shooting guard who obviously missed the entire NBA playoffs, which was major disappointment. Would have liked to see him get back on the court and play for this Heat team and maybe win an NBA title. Sorry about that. But I think Hero is obviously our best trade chip, but he might be such a good trade chip that Bradley Beal is not really necessary, or he's not necessary to get Bradley Beal in a trade. And I say this because Beal's contract is so bad. If you remember, in 2 to 3 years, he will be getting paid $50 million a year. And it's going to be tough for the Heat to make that contract work alongside others because you're going to have 3 max players. And the reason why it's time to strike on a deal now to get another max player is because under the new CBA, which is going to kick in, I believe, next year. Could be wrong on that. Let me know in the comment section if I am. But when it kicks in, it is borderline taking away big threes. And I know we haven't had a big three in a while, and it's more been a duo league the past 3 to 4 years. But a big three would basically be impossible to construct under the new CBA. So if you can get it in and create that big three of 3 max contracts in Bam, Jimmy, and Beal before the CBA kicks in, you'll be fine and be able to fill out a decent enough roster this offseason around them to go compete for a title. So this is the time to strike. Now, in an ideal world, you wouldn't have to give up Hero, and for this reason. I'm a big Tyler Hero fan, but I do believe that his trade asset should be used elsewhere. Bradley Beal's contract is so bad that you could probably get him for Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and a couple first-round picks. And I would rather trade an extra or 2 extra first-round picks instead of giving up Hero, and I'll tell you why right now. Because Hero can then be shipped out for a different asset. What have we always clamored when it comes to the Miami Heat? That they need more scoring on the perimeter, and they need a power forward to go next to Bam Adebayo. And one player that I have in mind could be Jeremy Grant. And I know it's a bold move, and if PJ Washington's out there too, which I would enjoy very much. But think about if they were able to get Beal for Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, and 2 first-round picks, right? And they were able to keep Hero. And even though people would be ecstatic, I don't think a Hero and Beal backcourt works because who's going to guard the opposing point guard? Beal's a little bit of a better defender than Hero, but they both aren't good defenders to where you can trust them to guard an opposing ball handler that's shifty and quick. And I think you'd be able to use Hero and trade him elsewhere to get that power forward, or maybe just cash in on more of a couple role players to help build a more complete team around the 3 of Beal, Jimmy, and Bam. So it's a lot of fascinating scenarios where Pat Riley and Andy Ellsberg are going to have to figure out for this Heat team. They're going to have to manipulate some money for the cap if they do get a Bradley Beal trade to go through. And it's just a fascinating story to watch. And once again, I'll implore you guys to subscribe because if the Heat make a move or more Heat rumors come out, whether it be on Bradley Beal, whether it be on Damian Lillard, I'll have a video for you guys breaking it all down. That's it for this one, so thanks for tuning in. I really do hope the Heat strike for Beal. I know a lot of people want Damian Lillard, but I would just rather get the 3rd star now and not risk missing out on both Lillard and Beal because someone else traded for Beal first and Lillard ended up going back to Portland. I think just get Beal now, efficient score, doesn't need screens, isolation guy, exactly what the Heat need on the perimeter to help make this offense go to the next step and hopefully win an NBA title. And I could just dream about a Beal, Jimmy, Bam trio with Eric Spoelstra at the Realms. And I think another quick point I'll put up before we really get out of here, if the Heat were able to trade for Beal and then trade Hero for more assets to help build this team and keep last year's first-round pick, Nikola Jovic, who I am very bullish on and think he's going to be a stud. I think that would be huge for Miami. I love the potential Nikola Jovic fit at the 4. He put on a lot of weight. So if they could get Beal, keeping Jovic, and keeping Hero, look out, NBA, because the Heat are going to be NBA champions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.